Yeah. Yeah. Racist thoughts, racist thoughts. Yeah, racist thoughts, racist thoughts. Racist thoughts, racist thoughts. Yeah, racist thoughts, racist thoughts. Okay, step into the mind of a young boy genius, telling you what's going on in stadiums and arenas. We talking the NFL, we talking the NBA, we talking about the biggest sports news of the day. Got a favorite athlete, a team that you're thinking? Well, let's put it to the test and see where Royce ranks them. And listen, man, I could go on and on, but let's get into it, featuring his co-host Dom. Sit back, relax, and welcome to the pod, and let me introduce everybody to Royce's thoughts. Yeah. I said sit back, relax, and welcome to the pod, and let me introduce everybody to Royce's thoughts.
It's that time of the week again where we record an episode of a podcast called
Royce's Thoughts.
As always, I am your co-host. Oh, wait, nope. Moved by.
Moving with Mardis.
As always, I am your co-host, Dom, sitting here with the namesake himself.
Royce.
Did we do that already? No.
No.
Okay. Listen, we've been off for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little Christmas holiday break, if you want to call it that. And it is now Tuesday, January 3rd in the year 2023. Happy New Year.
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling?
Good.
Did you have a good holiday?
Mm-hmm.
Since the viewers have last heard you, anything special happen that you want to divulge to the world?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It's a weird day in sports today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been living under a sports rock, I'm not sure how you are not aware of the Buffalo Bills situation with Damar Hamlin. He made a routine tackle and went and had a cardiac episode. Went in cardiac arrest. They had to administer CPR, give him an AD while on the field. And he's still in critical condition. A day later, they suspended the game yesterday, and it will not be made up at least this week. It's just a different time. I don't know how you feel. Were you watching the game at all?
No.
Were you following along or anything yesterday? I know you were at a friend's house.
Yeah.
So were you following the stuff that was happening, or no? I mean, it's okay if you weren't, because I'm actually interested. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this because I want your perspective. I think it's very interesting. You don't need to know. You know what happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all you need to know. This isn't a test. I want to know from the mind of a 14-year-old, how does what happened yesterday, does that affect you at all?
What do you mean? Why would I don't like this question.
Well, do you know? So you understand the severity of the situation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a 14-year-old child, right? You're still a kid. Okay, you're a big kid. You got facial hair. You don't sound like a kid, but you're still not an adult yet. You're closer than you were when we started the podcast. But I want to know, does that situation, does it make you feel a certain type of way? Because I have a point here, but I want you to answer this question first. Do you feel anything? The answer can be no.
I don't like this question.
Do you feel
I refuse to answer this question.
Do you feel anything towards the situation?
I mean, I feel that it was not good.
Okay, that's okay. Here's what I'm getting at. When I was your age, the concept that something like that might happen to someone, let alone myself, didn't exist. Right? Fear, that's the way I lived my life when I was that age. So I would expect for you to have the answer of that's a crazy play. Can't believe it happened. I hope he gets better. I would expect that to be something that you would say. Whereas now at 37 over here, having children of my own and seeing that incident, I actually see it through a completely different lens, probably than you are even capable of seeing it. And that's okay. Like, that was one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. And I didn't even see it live. I got a text and then I saw Twitter and I was like, what? We flipped over and I stayed up till 2:00 because I needed an update. I actually went to sleep as soon as the Bills sent their update last night at like 2 a.m. So like, but I think what's interesting for the perspective of the people that listen to this podcast, this is an interesting thing because of how it potentially will affect sports moving forward, right? So like when I asked you how you feel about it, this is not a trap. There's no wrong answer. I just want to know, like, what do you like? Do you think this is a big deal? Do you think?
Yeah, you could have actually said that.
Well, but I wanted your unfiltered opinion first. I was doing like a journalistic tactic there. My bad. But I just wanted your unfiltered opinion. So would you care to give it now that you have the setup?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I forgot what you asked.
How do you feel about like, and what I mean by like when I ask you how you feel, I'm really meaning more like a human side, right? Like I want to know.
I don't know.
Does it make you afraid to play football? Does it make you afraid to play sports? Does it make you question whether the NFL will survive? Like all of those things would be.
No.
None of those things.
No.
And again, I would think that would be your response. You're 14, man. Like the concept of what you're talking about, it just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next question I have for you, the implications of not playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they're going to get around this?
I don't know.
Because the Buffalo Bills are tied with, going into last night, if the Buffalo Bills won, they had the number 1 seed going with 1 week to play.
Mm-hmm.
If the Cincinnati Bengals won, then the Chiefs had the 1 seed. As long as the Chiefs didn't lose in week 18, then the Chiefs would be the 1 seed. But if the Chiefs lost and the Bengals won, then the Bengals were the 1 seed because both Buffalo and Cincinnati held the tiebreaker. So not playing that game basically just hands the Chiefs the 1 seed, which is the only bye in the AFC. Kind of a big deal. I don't know. Like and it keeps Baltimore. I think Baltimore. Cincinnati won the division, right? Not yet.
If they would have won the game, they would have won the division.
Oh, so then it keeps Baltimore alive as well. Like if they do a tie or if the game just doesn't count. Like I think the NFL has some serious questions to ponder, like about not getting that game in. And then the last question is, do you think, Royce, do you think those players can go out and play this weekend?
No. I wouldn't. Me personally, I would not play.
You wouldn't play?
Nope.
And what's crazy, I wouldn't fault any of them if they didn't. I saw something, I don't think this is going to happen, but I saw something today, and I feel like this was maybe the best answer I saw. Push the whole schedule back 2 weeks. Everything. Playoff, Super Bowl, whatever. And give the whole league this weekend off. Then you are able to also make up this game. And you still get a full week 18 in.
Mm-hmm.
Logistically, it might be impossible. There are a lot of stadiums, commitments, all those things. Travel, schedules, people who had already booked trips to the Super Bowl. I get it. But at some point, Royce, I think if they play this weekend, it's going to be a bunch of bad games. Bunch of bad games. Huh. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. I don't really feel like as co-host me, we are necessarily prepared to do what ESPN and Fox and everybody's been doing for the last 24 hours, which is talk about this situation. So I would like to wrap up that segment, but it was too important not to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
If there is anything else that comes to mind that you want to talk about, that you want to say, go ahead and say it. You know what I mean? Like we can come back to it. But we're going to proceed the rest of this podcast. Not like it didn't happen. We're not being insensitive, but also there's a lot that has happened since we last talked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the disclaimer for the podcast. Anybody listening, our thoughts. Listen, I don't want to speak for you, Royce. My thoughts, my prayers are with Damar Hamlin.
You could have just.
I know.
Spoke.
I'm just kidding.
I
I'm just kidding. Our thoughts and our prayers are with Damar Hamlin and his family. And I'm just going to tell you, as a former low-level athlete, I can't imagine what his teammates are going through, what the opponents are going through, what T. Higgins is going through, and also as a parent now, what his mother's going through, father, and the family members. So just prayers up for everybody in that whole situation. And how about humanity? A win for humanity for the GoFundMe. Have you seen what it's up to now?
Like $5
it's like $5.5 million. It's amazing. Go humanity. Like, if there's any silver lining, there's still some good out there. Okay. With that being said, let's do this. I want to take a break. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to ask if you will put our dog upstairs.
Okay.
Because Lola's the dog, and she's loving being down here while we record. But she's, if you hear little paw prints, that's what it is, and she won't go upstairs. So while Royce does that, I want to give a shout out to our title sponsor, Moving with Mardis. Sean and his team just do an excellent job. And with the new year, it may be new time, right? Maybe some thinking about the tax money coming up. You want some extra income, and you want to invest in a rental property, or it's finally time for your family to make that move into their dream home, or it's finally time to sell that home and move to something else. Maybe you're ready to downsize. If you are, you should give Moving with Mardis, Sean Mardis and his team, a call. You can go to their website. It's Moving with Mardis, MARDIS.com. And I'm just going to tell you, they're awesome people. Sean dropped off a Christmas little package for us. It had a hot chocolate bomb, which your little brother snatched up, some popcorn, ornament. It was very sweet. And I'm assuming that we didn't just get that because we're, spot podcast people. Like, that's the type of person he is. He had those dropped off to all of his clients. And so I just want to say thanks for Sean for continued support of this podcast. And also a production note. We're sitting at a new table, and we have new microphone stands. We actually are back to the old microphone stands, but before we did video. But I also haven't figured out our camera situation yet. So I want to do 2 cameras now. So this is not going to be on, it might be on YouTube, but it's just going to be picture. There will be no video for this episode. We'll have it ready hopefully by next episode. So that being said, production note. Okay. So since it is January 3rd, I don't even remember the last time we talked, but so much has happened. I feel like we should start with, what do you want to start with? Like, we could start with like most recent events and work our way backwards, or we could start all the way at the beginning and work our way forward.
I think it'd be, last time was December 8th.
So almost a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if we start all the way back, we might forget some stuff. So yeah. Why don't you tell the people what happened from a good standpoint last night in the NBA world?
Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points, and he had 11 assists, and he was responsible for 99 total points, which is the second most all time.
Really? I didn't even know that stat.
Mm-hmm.
So only behind Wilt Chamberlain, who had an actual 100 himself.
Yeah, he had 104 total.
Really? He had 2 assists that game, huh? Interesting. That's crazy.
Anyway, but if only that mattered, the Lakers actually also won last night. So LeBron had 43. Just saying. That was pretty good.
LeBron had 43 points last night.
He did.
Wow. Klay Thompson had 54, right? 50, was it 54? 10 threes. So I heard something that was interesting. First of all, shout out to Donnie. That's amazing. Was he only the seventh player in the history to have over 70 points? And the most points since 2000? Or Kobe's 81 in 2006, right?
Yeah.
I want to say this. I saw a lot of people hating on Donnie last night. Not a lot. A couple people. Saying, well, it's just because the NBA and their scoring's all up. They ain't done nothing. Scoring, they just score too many points. Do you know there is a truth, but there's also a lie. Truth. NBA scoring is the highest that it's ever been since what year?
Since last year.
No.
I don't know that.
They are on pace to since 1985. Why is that important? You might ask.
I don't know.
Because 1980s was the golden era of defense. Everybody always says we got to get back to the 80s where they actually played defense. Would you have ever thought that any season in the 1980s would have been in the top 10 in scoring average?
No.
So what it lets me know that if you look at 85, Jordan, Bird, Dominique Wilkins, Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Kareem, all those players, well, except for Kareem, all those players that we just named were at the ascent of their careers. Okay. I just think we might be at the same point. And I saw this, so the person I saw this said this on Twitter, so I'm stealing it from them, but it makes perfect sense. Are we not just at a tipping point of the NBA again, where now the talent is just, for these young guys, they're just better at scoring than anything that can happen from a defensive standpoint.
Which shows just how truly good LeBron James is. If he can still, keep up with these guys who are so good at scoring.
Yeah.
It just means that he's the best.
I mean, there's some truth to that. Right? Like,
there is only truth to that.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I if you would have told me that this was the highest scoring average since last year, I'd be like, okay, yeah, there's a trend. But like when you go back and say since 85, like I'm like, okay, hold up. But because maybe we are just seeing that scoring, because it just goes like this. It's a big circle. So what'll happen? People will figure it out, and they'll shift their defenses. They'll do all that stuff. Then scoring will go back down, and then it takes a little bit of time, and then players figure it out again. I just didn't realize that the circle had been so long since 1985. I don't know. You're the NBA guy.
Yeah.
So speaking of the NBA guy, the Nets, are they for real?
I don't know. What do you mean by for real?
They are about to take over the number 1 seed in the East, aren't they?
No. They're not. No. Maybe.
Haven't they won 11 straight?
I don't know. Have they?
I'm pretty sure it's 11 straight now.
I don't know, is it?
Oh my gosh. I'll go look it up while you sit there and ponder, or you're going to look it up too.
They're a game back from the Boston Celtics.
In the 1 seed or what's Boston?
The 1 seed.
Okay.
It's actually not 11. It's actually 12.
Okay. So they've won 12 straight.
Yeah.
And they're about to take over the number 1 seed in the East.
The Lakers have won 2 straight though, so
last time
we're only 2 games out from the play-in.
I'm pretty sure like 3 episodes ago, even though that was like 6 weeks ago, we were questioning whether Kyrie Irving would play again, ever.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you again, is Boston for real? Not Boston, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Maybe. Isn't everyone?
What is your hesitation?
Because I don't know.
Like you don't know if they are, like you haven't watched them play enough, or you just
like
you're not buying the hype.
For real? By what? Are they for real?
Are they okay? All right. Let me redefine this. Is Boston? I keep saying Boston because that's my next topic. Is Brooklyn a legit NBA Finals champion
No,
contender?
I
Are
don't
they
think
Eastern Conference Finals champion?
Yes.
So are they an NBA Finals contender then?
so. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So also in other events that have happened since we last recorded, you went to a Boston Celtics game.
Yep.
How was that experience?
It was good. Pretty cool.
How many NBA games have you been to before?
3.
And were they all Pacers games? All
Yes.
3 of those?
2 of them.
2 of them. And then
that one was Boston.
oh, so this is your third.
Yeah.
Okay. So of the 3 now, what was your best? What was the best okay. No. The best environment.
Boston.
Like not even close.
No, it was not close.
Okay. What made it special?
The people were like very locked in.
Really? Like
Yeah.
the fans were just, and they were playing a bad team, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Magic?
Mhm.
Okay. So better fans.
Mhm.
Hashtag. Did you feel any like history walking into the building?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Okay. Anything else to share? I don't know. Like, was it?
I don't know.
I
pretty
mean,
good.
after seeing Boston, they did lose the game.
Yeah. They
but
lost,
do you
yeah.
feel like they are a legit team?
Yeah.
Finals contender?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Any other basketball news? Do you think the Lakers are going to make a trade?
I hope so.
I saw an article. They said they might be content to ride it out.
I think that they should fire their GM.
Really?
Yeah, we actually like extended him over the offseason, actually, so won't be doing that.
You just extend people to fire him anyway. That I don't even know. That is the oddest thing to me in sport. Coach comes year 1, has a great year. Let's extend him for 6 more years. Like we don't even what? It's ask Louisville how that worked out. Well, I guess it actually worked out well for Louisville because Satterfield just left. But okay.
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about some college football.
All right.
Since we last were here, the end of the regular season has happened. The conference championship games happened. And then I believe you made a pick. Well, the pick, and we'll get to the pick 'em segment. But you went to the Louisville. So the reason you went to the Boston games because you went to the Louisville Cincinnati football game at where was it?
Boston.
At Boston.
Fenway Park.
Yeah, that's right. It's a Fenway Park. Cool experience.
Yeah.
The park was the park cool?
Mm-hmm.
Was it weird seeing a football game there?
Yeah. And now there's like a hockey game there.
Yeah, that's weird.
I personally don't think that there should be football games in baseball arenas.
I agree there. Completely agree there.
What they should do is put a football game on an aircraft carrier or whatever. That would be cool.
So yeah, there's really. I mean, listen, Louisville won the game. Cincinnati, it wasn't really that close. Obviously, the storyline was Satterfield leaving Louisville and going to Cincinnati, but it's not like he was at the game. He didn't coach. Jeff Brom didn't coach, so they weren't. Neither one of the coaches were at the game. So I don't really have a lot to talk about that situation unless you just got something you want to say on the Louisville football situation.
No, not really.
I would like to talk more about the college football playoff situation.
I
can't remember. Did you watch? You watched the games?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you had a friend over and y'all were watching the games.
Mhm.
So tell the people again, in case you've been living under a sports rock, what happened on New Year's Eve?
So the first game, it was the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian University, and it was the Wolverines of Michigan University. Now, which one of those just sounds cooler? The Horned Frogs of Texas Christian. That just sounds pretty cool to me. And then they were on fire, and it was 21-6. But then Michigan was not yet. Then like they came back a little bit, but then TCU still won because they're cool and they have purple, which is cool. And then the second game, it was Ohio State and Georgia, and like Ohio State was like, yeah, and like Georgia was like, nah, and then like Georgia like came back and they took a lead, and then Ohio State like marched down the field, and then they went to kick the field goal to win it, and then they missed. It's like Happy New Year, and then they missed. So like Happy New Year outside of Ohio. Speaking of Ohio, LeBron James is from Ohio. He was not happy about that game. And then Georgia won, and TCU won. So it's TCU against Georgia in the national championship game. Case closed. That
Okay. So that was okay. That was a good good people recap. I want to talk first about I'm struggling here, Royce. I'm struggling with this one because listen. Who was it? Denny Green. That's why you play the game. No. That is who's the coach that was at Arizona State that got fired? Herm Edwards.
Arizona State is so relevant.
I know.
In
but it was Herm Edwards.
Sports that except for swimming. They have a good swimming team.
And he said, that's why you play that's why you play the game. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think he said you play to win the game. Listen, if Michigan and TCU play 10 times, I really believe that Michigan would win 9 of them. I know it's hard to say this because what we just witnessed.
This is an Avengers Endgame type beat.
Go ahead.
What?
Oh, you're just saying what?
This is an Avengers Endgame type beat.
Beat?
Type beat.
Beat?
Type beat.
Type of a beat.
Yeah.
Oh, so like a once in a million times type thing.
It's actually like 14,605 billion. But like it's whatever.
So like, and here's the thing: it's nothing. I'm not taking anything away from TCU. Like they played the game, they showed up, they had an excellent game plan. They blitzed, not physically like blitz, but like they brought it to Michigan early. They literally were like, Michigan, I don't know what's happening right now, and it took them a while. But Michigan played a completely different brand of football that they played all season, and still almost won the game. And I'm sorry, but that last play was targeting. And I'm not saying that was going to allow them to win the game, but you got to call that. Mm-hmm. It was textbook targeting. Textbook. Mm-hmm. Okay, but here we go. My problem is this. That's actually not my beef that they won the game. My beef is, Royce, why is there 4 weeks between the last game and that game?
What?
So Michigan played in the conference championship versus Purdue, like the first week in December. Mm-hmm. Then on New Year's Eve, they're playing. Like, do we need to wait 20-something days for that game to be played?
Yeah, because it's on New Year's.
Right, but can't we figure out a better solution?
I say we just add another week to the regular season.
Let's do that. Let's push it up. Can we have the championship game on New Year's Eve?
That'd be cool too.
Right? Like, I'm not saying that I'm really not trying to say that TCU only won because they had so much time to game plan, but part of, to me, the football experience, right? The most you get in between breaks is you get a bye week and then you play every week. Part of, to me, a good football team is being able to show up every Saturday or Sunday or Fridays nights if it's high school and have that week to prepare and be prepared and ready to play. Mm-hmm. I think if they play that game the following week of conference championship week, Michigan probably wins easy. Mm-hmm. I think I've always felt that all that time off is just such an advantage for the coaching, right? It's not about the players. It's about the money.
You know what else is an advantage?
What?
Being a 25-year-old grown man playing against a bunch of college kids. Just saying.
Who's that?
Shout out Stetson Bennett. I'm just saying. I'm just joking. It's fine. Stetson Bennett's cool. I'm just joking.
So let's move to that Georgia game. Is Ohio State for real?
Like, no, because they lost.
Right, but
Like, none of them are for real except for, like, one of them.
who's that? CJ Stroud?
One of them.
Oh. Well, who's?
What? No, I'm talking about, like, teams. Like, only one.
Oh, only one team will be
Only
for
one
real.
can be the realist.
Gotcha. Again, I was a believer that Ohio State shouldn't have been there. I know they were there because there was literally no one else to put in. But I'm like, dang, man. Like, Ohio State had a heck of a game plan. They look like a completely different team than the team that showed up versus Michigan. So, again, I think that goes to coaching, and good on all of the Ohio State coaching staff and the players for, recognizing the game plan, executing it. But, man, Georgia got kicked in the mouth, punched a couple times, and said, we good. And they just kept coming back. I don't know.
That's all, like, injured. Like, Ohio State's, like, best player.
The-
But
I-
it's whatever.
And that was not called targeting either. But the official's like, hey, if we didn't call it in TCU game, we definitely can't call it here. I don't know. I do think that was actually the changing point of the game. When Marvin Harrison went down, it really made their defense or their offense, Ohio State, struggle.
Mhm.
Okay, so who's going to win? This is going to be one of your pick'ems, but we'll preview it now.
Alabama. Alabama's going to win the national championship.
There are still people that felt like there should be a third place game played between Michigan and Alabama.
I don't know. I think Georgia's going to win.
Yeah.
But I don't want Georgia to win.
Do you think TCU can do this?
Yeah.
I don't. I know everybody doubted them last week, so there's no reason that they can't do it. But that Georgia team. You're right. They got a grown man at quarterback. He's older than Lamar Jackson, or same age as Lamar Jackson, who is in his 5th season in the NFL. Okay. I'm gonna go Georgia too. And I hate to say this, I just feel like the football gods are not going to be that kind to us when it comes to this, because we saw 2 amazing games. Usually the quarterfinals are blowouts and the championship game's good. So now I think it's going to be the opposite. Now I think the championship game is about to be a blowout.
I want TCU to win really bad because they're purple and they're frogs. Nobody else is purple and frogs.
I don't even think there's other frog teams.
Exactly.
There's other purple teams.
Not even like, you ever seen a high school team that was purple and the frogs?
I don't know that I've ever seen another team that's the frogs.
You ever seen a team that's the Bulldogs and be red?
Yes.
Yeah. TCU's just different.
So you picking this straight off colors and mascots now?
Straight off of coolness.
Are you Hypnotoad?
Yeah.
Would you wear a Hypnotoad shirt?
Yes.
Even if they didn't win the championship?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so other news in the NFL. The 49ers have won like 67 games in a row.
Wow. 49ers are so cool.
I had to do
They're
it.
my favorite team. I love the 49ers.
Well, they
so
are,
much.
and I do so much. No, we've rocketed to the 2 seed. Okay, thanks to the abysmal performance of Minnesota, which caused me some. It was
Literally, if Minnesota would have won, we'd be chilling right now.
Yeah,
but no.
As a Seahawks fan, how do you feel about Week 18?
Oh, I did not feel good. I honestly, I don't know. I don't even know if we're gonna win.
You play the Rams, right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
we play the Cardinals. They do division games.
The Rams.
The Rams are
This
hot
week.
Well, they're not hot garbage anymore. Baker's out there playing for his NFL career.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
I mean, he's playing well. They still losing by a lot.
I hate being a Lions fan.
Yeah, you have to be a Lions fan, man.
I just need them to win one game.
Do you know? Go
But
ahead.
like, if I don't know if like the Lions game and the Seahawks game is at the same time,
I was just about to ask you that question. Literally,
Yeah.
I was going to look it up.
but like I saw somewhere it's like one of them was before the other originally or something. And so this Seahawks game finishes, or the Seahawks game finishes and Seahawks win, Lions are automatically eliminated. So why would they even try? Or the other way around, the Packers win, Seahawks are eliminated. So then why would they try?
So I'm going to be honest here, though. I would normally agree with you, except for it's not that simple when it comes to like division games. Like the Lions hate the Packers. So even if they're eliminated, they are going to also make sure that Green Bay stays home too. Like, so Seahawks is at 425. Lions Packers is the night game at 8:20.
Interesting.
So honestly, it's the best. It's the best case.
that game.
It's the best case scenario for you because y'all win, and then you just sit back. And obviously, you're a Lions fan, so that means both teams have to try because you see what I'm saying.
I don't know if we're gonna win. I'm not feeling confident. Gonna be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
There are so many. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, I also think it's interesting. The Giants and the Eagles. This is an interesting game for me.
For like you.
For me, well, for two reasons. One, if the Giants lose, or if the Eagles lose, then 49ers win, and the 49ers get the 1 seed, which is absolutely nuts.
Ooh, go team.
Considering we were 2-4. But I'm not worried about that. That would be awesome, right? But I have a love-hate relationship with the number 1 seed because you take that week off. Sometimes you just don't get gelling again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's not my problem. Jalen Hurts, a Jalen Hurts-less Eagles team has been not good.
Yep, so they should play him again. So I could rack up fantasy
But
points.
what if he's not healthy?
Well,
Like,
I don't mean to
no, I'm not.
try to bring one down and injure him even more. But if he could just be good for one more week.
I'm because my thing is this. We've seen if the Eagles don't have Jalen Hurts, they don't stand a chance in the playoffs. So the best team all year is now an average team at best.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jalen Hurts is actually hurt and he plays and he gets injured more, or he stays at the same hurtness level that he is, this is weird because his last name is Hurts, same injured level that he is, then are we looking at a flame out Eagles team?
I don't think that we should start Jalen Hurts. I mean, if I'm the Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you should start Jalen Hurts this week.
But if you don't start him and you lose, then you have to play the following week because you're not the 1 seed anymore.
Eh.
And
Big deal.
and you may not get a home team because so this was also was crazy. So if the Eagles lose and the Cowboys and 49ers both win, not only do they lose the 1 seed, they also lose the home game because then the Cowboys win the division.
So anyway, I'll be honest, I don't think it really matters because one, you start him and let's say he gets hurt even more, then you may win, but you won't win again.
Okay.
And then if you don't start him, you may lose, but you have higher chances of succeeding because he's not hurt.
Okay. Side note, did you know there's a Monday night wildcard game?
No.
I did not know that. I also don't know that I like that. There's 2 Saturday games, a Sunday game, and a Monday night game. Interesting. Okay.
Well, I hope I'm watching that.
I mean, you can watch it. Oh, you mean with interest?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. I got it. I see what you're saying there. I mean, I hope I'm not watching it with interest, and I hope I'm just chilling, waiting for divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. That would be nice. All right. Is there any other football like crazy stuff? I know they've announced they did Pro Bowls and stuff, but people don't really care about Pro Bowls, and other than Tyler Huntley is the 4th alternate.
Go Geno Smith.
Did he make the Pro Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So did Tariq Woolen.
Okay.
Who's the GOAT. Anyway, I don't know. I don't have anything.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
So at this time, before we do our, I think what we should do is normally we do our voicemail segment. And I think that if you have a voicemail that you want to leave us, you should call in. But the reality is we haven't gotten one in a while. And I say that in a while, meaning like we had one on our last episode, but we haven't recorded in a month. So people probably aren't calling in because they're like, oh, they're not going to do anything. So because of that, I'm going to switch up our sponsorship segment for today. So we can still give our people over at MR DetailWorx some love because, honestly, let's just play. We're just going to play the song.
Okay, stop. Let me take a look at your whip. Is it new? Is it from 2006? It could be a Lamborghini, Cadillac, a Buick. Either way, we making sure that your ride is legit. If you got a nick, a scratch, we could buff that out. Yeah, car feeling messy, don't let it stress you out. You gon' leave with the shine that's as clean as these rhymes. From the hood to the rim, got the wax. You want that advantage, the finish, ceramic, protected from damage. So fresh and so lavish. Now that you heard, yeah, why don't you spread that word? The best service in town is at MR DetailWorx.
As always, we want to thank our main man Jerry and his team over at MR DetailWorx. Their mission is simple: to provide high quality service in a timely manner. So if you need to get your car detailed, you should give them a call, or you can check them out on their website. The website is mrdetailworx.com. That's WORX.com. Or you can email Jerry at jgrant, Grant, at mrdetailwork.com. Get in there, get your car, get your whip. Royce loves when I say this. Get your whip cleaned up.
No.
I'm just saying. Okay, so
No.
here's the deal. So the pick'em segment. I knew that we weren't going to record week after. Let's see, because we did week 2, which was December 7th. So we have to actually go back to pick'em weeks because there's one thing that we forgot to talk about. Thanks to the pick'em, I just realized that. So week 2, you were 3 and 5. You picked the Army Navy game, which you actually picked Army.
3, 4, 5, not 3 and 5.
Sorry, 3 for 5. Yes,
Right.
3 for 5. You picked the Army Navy
Much
game.
better.
You picked Alabama Houston basketball, and you had Bama winning, and they did.
Oh yeah, I did.
You picked the Arizona Indiana game, and you chose IU, and they did not win.
Oh,
Not
they
close.
lost very badly.
You chose the Jets and Bills, and you chose the Bills, and the Bills won. And you chose Netherlands versus Argentina, and you chose the Netherlands.
Yes, a long time ago.
It was. And the Argentinians won. And we know that because Argentinians. And we know that because of what happened in week 3. So when we found out that we weren't going to be able to record the following week, because we didn't know at the time, we also didn't know that we weren't going to record this long, but we didn't know. But I had you pick the following week's events as well. So in that week, you also went 3 for 5. You chose the 49ers versus Seahawks. You chose the Seahawks, obviously.
Well, that's because I'm a Seahawks fan. If I was a Lions fan, I would have chosen the 49ers.
Yeah, but you did. So you chose the Giants and Commanders. The Giants won. You chose Louisville versus Cincinnati football. You chose Louisville. Louisville won. You chose France versus Argentina. You chose France. And Argentina won the World Cup. And then you chose number 5 versus number 3 Houston, or number 5 Houston versus number 3 Virginia. You chose Houston, and Houston won.
Of course they did.
So overall, you are 18. Oh, wait. Oh, you are 10 for 15. You were 10 for 15.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's like basically 2 for 3.
What?
Yeah. That's like 2
Oh,
for
I see
3.
what you're saying. Yeah, you are 66 per 67%.
66.666.
66.67. Yeah.
Whatever.
That's
That's pretty good.
So I'll say this. I did not pick some games right off the bat because I'll be honest, I didn't realize when we were going to do this, but I can do this very quickly. Very simple. So,
I'm finna ace it.
huh?
Said I'm finna get 3 out of 5.
Three out of 5 again.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I had wanted to do the Lions and all that stuff, but I'm not going to do that because you have interest in that.
Yeah.
So obviously we just talked about one, Georgia versus TCU, and you. So I know you want TCU to win, but you said Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure. All right. We're gonna do the football game. We are gonna do an NFL game. The Yee House. Because I'm just curious. We just talked about it. Eagles, Giants.
Eagles. I got the Eagles. Yep.
Got the Eagles. Okay. And then there's one other game, right? That matters. By the way, side note, what about the Raiders, man? Let Derek Carr go. Jarrett Stidham looks really good.
Maybe you guys just are terrible all of a sudden.
Maybe. I doubt it though. Doubt it. The Jets are eliminated, or else I do the Jets Dolphins. Who the Patriots play? Oh, the Patriots play the Bills. Oh man, that's tough. They're all fighting.
New England.
Hmm?
Said rip New England.
Well, yeah, but they're all at oh, that's tough. Okay, Browns Steelers.
Browns.
Even though it's for a
Yeah, the Browns are eliminated.
right.
I got the Browns.
Steelers still alive. Browns. Okay.
Browns.
All right. Going over to the NCAA basketball segment in the top of 20 and 5. On this weekend's schedule, I thought there was a good matchup. Oh, it's not. It's not. Never mind.
Imagine thinking that there was a good matchup.
Well, I thought there was like a showdown. A showdown.
Sonic Blockbuster.
What does that mean? Oh yeah, Sonic Blockbuster. That's the thing, right? Don't they do that?
Yeah, that's a thing. And
Yeah. Nope. Okay.
Ooh.
What's that? What are you looking at?
No, there's just like there are no games.
Right. No, there's just not a lot of no
That's
games.
Terrible.
Okay. So maybe let's not do that. Then is there NBA games? It's just tough to call NBA games right now.
Yeah, because everybody wins randomly.
Right.
Except for the Detroit Pistons.
By the way, you see Zion's out forever again?
Yeah. It's only like a couple weeks, I think.
All right, so here's the deal. Because I don't want to do any of the other basketball games, we're going to do the other 2 football games.
All right.
So Ravens, Bengals.
Is Lamar Jackson playing?
We don't know. He should have been, according to his initial prognosis, he should have been playing 2 weeks ago.
I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Okay. And then, by the way, depending on, because we don't know how the game last night ended up, technically, I knew there was something else. If the Ravens, because let's see, the Bengals would be 11-5. Yeah, if the Ravens won that game, then I think they would hold they might get the division. Yeah. Okay. They're in. That doesn't matter. Texans, Colts. Oh, that's it. That was the game. It's on Saturday, so I missed it. Titans, Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Okay. All right. Cool. So again, that's Royce's Pick'em segment. I like this segment. I like this segment. So yeah, that's what we got. We want to thank our friends over at MR DetailWorx for their continual support of this podcast. All right. Is there anything else? I know the World Cup happened a long time ago. Do you have any final parting words about the World Cup?
No. Messi's the GOAT.
Just the GOAT?
Yeah.
I'm happy
I say
for him.
Messi the GOAT. I don't watch the sport though.
Yeah.
So don't come at me.
Can you non-soccer question?
It's actually football.
Can you have non-football question? Can you have multiple GOATs in a sport?
No. No, you can't. That's not allowed. Well, yes. You can look at it multiple ways because there are multiple things that go into being the GOAT. So this one person could be the best at this particular thing in this, and the other person could be the best at this thing. But overall, no, there's only one.
I asked this question because, like you said, he's the GOAT, and then most people would say the GOAT. Rest in peace, Pele. He was the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
He has 3 World Cup wins. He's the only player to ever win 3 World Cups. Not the only team, the only player ever.
Did he play in Europe?
I don't know.
Exactly.
But he also played 50 years ago.
Exactly.
So
they didn't even know Europe was a thing back then.
I'm curious because I hear this a lot. LeBron's the GOAT.
LeBron is the GOAT. You should hear that all the time, but
MJ's the GOAT.
Society is just incorrect.
Curry's the GOAT.
Anyone who says Curry is the GOAT is just not intelligent.
KD's the GOAT.
That's probably worse than Curry.
I would agree. But you just hear all these GOATs tossed around. I feel like GOAT is now it's not even a thing anymore. When I was...
Yeah, because why would it be? Because Alex Caruso is obviously the best.
All right. So your consensus is you can only have one overall greatest of all time.
Yeah, but there could be different...
The best dunker, the best 3-point shooter, the best defender. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think GOAT should be...
You can't have multiple GOATs.
I don't disagree with you. I just think GOAT should be one person, period. There's no... You can be the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, but that's not the
greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to do the greatest 3-point, then you're the whatever 3, the GOAT. You're not a GOAT. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's just weird. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now you can be the Argentinian GOAT.
Well,
there were a lot of people that said that World Cup win put him over. What was it?
Diego Maradona.
Maradona. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But not the football GOAT. The football GOAT that came out very Irish.
Yes, but he has a lot of goals, and he has a lot of assists, and he played in Europe, and he has a World Cup win and a Copa America and a lot of football trophies. That and it looks like it's the word balloon and then Dior.
Yeah,
but it's not. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. There's a lot of those though.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear you. It's tough because you're right. Pele didn't play overseas, to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh wait, did he? Uh-oh.
Did he succeed though? I don't actually know. I just
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. I just started looking up, and it was a lot. So, okay. Do you have? Is it time for the most anticipated segment?
Pele never played for a European club.
Okay. In all of sports.
Yeah, it is.
Sports.
Sports. Go sports. I love sports.
He did play for the New York Cosmos.
Dang it. He's the GOAT. Messi never played in America.
Yet.
There were talks of him going to Miami. Anyway.
He'll go play for the Saudi Arabian team for
Just be
million
Ronaldo.
a year. All right. What we got?
We have top 5 NBA players to play in the 1980s.
Oh, that's right. Because did we do 50s? You started.
We did 60s, and then 70s, and now we're on the 80s.
Okay, 80s.
80s.
Any honorable mentions?
Yes. Julius Erving.
Who was also on your 70s list. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
Just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other honorables?
No.
Okay.
He was Julius. He was an NBA champion one of those years. And MVP one of those years. 5-time All-NBA first team. 8-time All-Star.
All in the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just barely edged out Isaiah Thomas.
For number 5.
Number 5. Michael Jordan.
Okay. MJ cracking the 80s, top 80s players?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense.
He was MVP.
Pretty good.
1 year.
Was it 89?
88. He was a defense player of the year. 5-time All-Star. Rookie of the year.
Slam dunk champion.
That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You know who else is a slam dunk champion?
Nate Robinson.
No, because Nate Robinson's the GOAT.
Who?
Give me a second. I have to think of like the worst slam dunk champion.
Dwight Howard.
No.
Who won it this year?
Was it Obi Toppin or Anthony Simons?
One of the two. The fact that we don't know. There it is.
Anthony Simons is a good player. It's just
terrible
whatever
contest. All right, so MJ, number 5. Number 4.
Number 4, Moses Malone.
Moses Malone.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I would just put him. I thought he would be a more 70s guy. Now that you say him, what was his? He has an old player name because his name is Moses. So like he could have played in the
part of the Red Sea.
Yeah, it was just a terrible joke. All right, so when did he? What was his 80s stats?
Yeah, NBA champion, Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, 10-time All-Star. 24 points per game, 12 rebounds.
Dang.
He played all 10 years of the 80s.
Was he
All-Star every year?
So his career was literally in the 80s, basically, because he played a few years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know he passed. That at 60? Dang, he was young. He got drafted in 74, though. He played from 74 to 95.
Yeah.
So technically, he only played the middle part of his career in the 80s.
Which is the peak.
Right, because he had 5 years afterwards and 6 years before. Man, dang. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yep.
Let's read him.
5-time champion, Finals MVP, 10-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA first team. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Number 2.
Number 2, Magic Johnson.
Magic. Okay, I'm really curious about who your number 1 is because I feel like I think I know, but I'm curious. All right, what's his stats?
Johnson, 5-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, 7-time first team, 9-time All-Star.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you before we
He averaged 19 points a game, 11 assists, 7 rebounds.
Okay.
Just wanted to add that in there.
Before we get to number 1, I'm curious. Why did Moses Malone play for so many teams?
I mean, he played for the Sixers, the Rockets, and the Sixers and the Rockets
He played for the Bullets
and the Bullets.
and the
I was
Hawks.
gonna say that one.
All in the 80s. Like,
Ish Smith, I beat.
for his accolades, like, why did they let him go? Okay. Anyway.
Maybe he just signed a 2-year deal and then dipped.
Maybe. I don't know. All right, number 5.
Larry Bird.
Number 1. Larry Bird. Okay.
Yep. 3-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP, 3-time MVP, 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA first team, Rookie of the Year, 24.5 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, 6 assists. He's just better.
Than everybody else?
Obviously, yes.
Yeah. I definitely don't disagree. It's a tough one. The 80s, I feel like there was good basketball in the 80s. The way that you're doing this category is very interesting because when you do it like just in the 80s, it's from obviously 1980 to 89. Like that's a really defining thing because I don't think Larry Bird would be number 1 if you expanded it their playing careers, right? But because of just the 80s, it's interesting. It's interesting. And Magic was 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. All right. So just quick recap. Number 5, honorable mention. Number 6 was Dr. J. Number 5 was Michael Jordan. Number 4 was Moses Malone. Number 3 was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 2 was Magic Johnson. Number 1 was Larry Bird. Okay.
Yes.
That's a good list. I don't really have any complaints about that. I really don't. I don't. I think you're gonna have a tough time in the 90s.
I don't.
I know you probably.
I think I've already got it down.
But I
think I've got actually 2000s. No, I think I've got the 90s already down, and then the 2010s. Then I'm gonna have to come back to the 2000s. But I think I got the 90s down.
I think the 90s. I mean, I think there's obviously a number 1, but I'm just curious as to.
Obviously, yes.
It's John Paxson,
Steve Kerr.
Yeah. See, I'd go John Paxson. No, so
Bill
interesting.
Cartwright. Yep.
Would you say David Cartwright?
I said Bill.
Oh, I was like, David. Bill Cartwright, also old name. Should have played in the 50s with Moses Malone.
Moses Malone also didn't play in the 50s.
I know. I'm saying that's my point. Got it now. All right. Well, what we got for the people?
It's Eli Manning's birthday.
Eli Manning's birthday.
And Kevin Ware.
Really? Yeah, shout out. 2013 it happened. Well, I think with that, I don't really have anything else. I don't think.
Nope.
I'm looking forward to this 2023, especially from a sports standpoint. I think we're gonna get some good stuff. Go ahead.
No, I'm just not.
You're not looking forward to 2023?
No,
why
from
not?
a sports standpoint.
Why?
I don't think it's gonna be good for me.
No, as a LeBron fan and
no,
Seahawks
for LeBron, it might be fine. I don't think LeBron's gonna be with the Lakers at the end of the year.
The end of 2023?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think he's gonna be there. I also don't think the Seahawks are gonna be successful once we're in this spot next year. I also don't think that the Yankees are gonna be successful, meaning that they haven't won a World Series. That is the only definition of successful in baseball for me. Yep. But neither will any of your teams. So take that. I would say definitely not the Brewers. They're definitely not going to be there.
I think I'm gonna give up my Brewers.
You can't do that anymore.
Why?
You can't do that.
I want to switch.
You sound like one of
my children.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't like this team. I want to restart.
I want to restart. I want to go.
No.
you know, a quick little story there.
Maybe the 49ers. They might be successful this year.
Mm-hmm. I know.
But you don't even have a basketball team.
No.
So I can't even say anything there. Or a hockey team.
Let's go. I'll go with the
favorite
Cavs.
golfer.
I'll go with the Cavs.
So
I'm a Donnie fan, so I'll go with the Cavs.
We got a favorite golfer.
Tiger.
So your year's not going to be great. All right. Sounds good.
What's Tiger's son's name? Cub?
Charlie.
Yeah. Charlie Woods?
Also.
He could beat me in a round.
Oh, yeah, no, he definitely could.
Also what?
Couldn't beat me.
Yeah. Okay. Also what?
I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say.
I don't know. I just think you should talk about the fact that we were both getting mopped by a 5-year-old in Madden.
Okay, he was playing on rookie mode. That's not fair. And then I played him that game, and I was like, okay, I let him have that one. I beat him the next game.
Yeah, I beat him since then too, but Royce.
And then we played another game, and then I beat him again, and then I retired from playing against him because I have a winning record. I do not have a losing record to anyone in Madden 23 ever.
You're 2-1 versus me.
Which is a winning record.
It is, but we haven't played enough. You got to play at least 7 games. 7 game series.
So then I have to win 1 more, 2 more?
2 more.
Yeah. Which I will do.
All right, well, on that note, until next week, Happy New Year.
Yep.
Thoughts and prayers up in Cincinnati. Damar Hamlin. All right.